Hello everyone, welcome to week 7. Just wanted to go over real quickly an overview of your assignments for this week. So for your quiz, that's going to be themed for self-confidence, and that's going to be pulled from chapter 4. So make sure you read the chapter to be prepared for that quiz. This week, the journal choices, you have your 32-day commitment or the self-confidence exercise. The 32-day commitment, I wanted to talk about that just a little bit. So in brief, the 32-day commitment is you're making a goal that you'll do for 32 days. And there's a little goal tracking sheet here on the journal in your workbook. And you can either choose a certain action that you want to do each day, or you can choose, up to 5 actions that you want to alternate doing throughout the days. And basically, it's just you're choosing a goal and you're committing to work on it through 32 days. If you choose this goal, then at the end of the 30 days, there'll be an optional extra credit lesson that you can do as well when you report on the goal. Again, you don't have to choose this topic, and you will certainly get points for this topic, even if you don't completely finish the goal. If you just try, set a goal and make your best attempt, you'll still get points for this journal this week. But if you choose to, you can stick with this goal for 32 days, and then you'll have a future optional journal you can report on it, and you'll be able to get extra credit points for that journal. So that's just an option there that you can do. And again, the biggest question I have in this assignment is, does my goal need to be different, or needs the same each day? It can be the same thing each day. So for example, if your goal is, I want to read 1 chapter in my science textbook, then you would write that for each day. Or you can do a different thing each day. You can say, read my science chapter, take notes, study with a friend, and you can alternate which things you plan to do each day. But you'll just come back in as you do those things, and you'll check those off on each of these days. There's a little spot here where you can check off whether or not you did it on the day to help you just track whether you kept the commitment. And please don't worry about keeping it every single day. The point is to do your best and try to keep the commitment as long as you can for the 32 days, and then report on how that went at the end. So yes, you can still count it if you didn't do every single day of the 32 days, if you missed a week. You can still count that to report it later. So just so you're aware of that. So that's the 32-day commitment. Again, it's a 32-day long goal that you make and report on by you mark it off on this chart, and then you can report on it in a future journal entry for extra credit. The other choice for your journal this week is the self-confidence journal. And this is just a self-confidence exercise to help you start building that confidence, help you start recognizing some of the success you've already had, and start recognizing some good qualities that you have. So if you look here at the questions here, it recommends that you list as many successes and victories as you can, because that will help to increase your self-confidence. A lot of our self-confidence comes from recognizing our ability to accomplish things. And so if you're able to look back in times in the past when you have accomplished something, and you go back and review that, that can help to increase your self-confidence so you'll know that you'll be able to do your future activities as well. So as you're looking over this, again, if sometimes people have a hard time, especially if they struggle with self-confidence, they have a hard time listing some of their good qualities, their skills, their talents. If you're having a hard time with that, it's a good idea to ask a friend or family member, someone you trust, someone who cares about you, what your skills and talents are, because sometimes they'll have a better perspective on it than you will. So anyway, so you'll go ahead and do the self-confidence exercise if that's the one that you choose. And I really would like you to try to kind of think about this and see where are you at in your self-confidence? Does it need improvement? What are some areas that you can improve in that? If this is not really an issue or a struggle for you, then maybe you want to focus more on the 32-day commitment. But this is a good exercise for just helping you to start to build that self-confidence, recognize where your weaknesses are in that, and sort of develop a plan for increasing your self-confidence if you need to. So that's the self-confidence journal. Again, you can do both journals and receive extra credit this week. And if you do the 32-day commitment this week, you can choose to report on it in a future week and get extra credit for that as well. So a lot of opportunities for extra credit here in this week and as a follow-up to one of the assignments this week. Okay, so your next assignment is share and discuss academic goals. We've done a lot of goal setting exercises in this class so far, but this one is specifically talking about your academic goals to kind of give you a little bit of practice with that particular aspect of goal setting. So what it's going to have you do is it has this little chart, and you're going to list all of your courses for this semester, and you're going to make a goal for what you want your grade to be and what outcomes you want to get from it. And the hardest part with this is I think that all students kind of go into this thinking, I want to get straight A's in all my classes. I want to do a really good job on all this. And that's not always a realistic goal for all of your courses, depending on your course load, your workload, your home life, and the challenges that you have going on. It's not always realistic to say, I'm just going to get A's in all of my classes. So you might sometimes have to make those hard choices and say, okay, here's a class that is not in my major. It's not something that I'm going to use in the future. This is what I can settle for, a B in this class, or I can settle for a C in this class. As long as I pass this class, I don't actually have to get an A in it. So I want you to try and take kind of a hard look of where you are right now in your classes, what grades you've already gotten, what struggles you have in that class, and try and set as realistic of goals as you can for each class. And also make sure that you say your desired outcomes. So for example, if you're going into a science profession, then in addition to getting a good grade, you may need to really solidify that knowledge in your mind in your science classes. If it's just a class that you need to fill a requirement, then your desired outcome may be, I just want to pass this class. I don't really need to remember the content from it. So, you can be realistic on this and say, okay, this is not really a class that I need. It's not really a class I'm interested in. It's just one that I have to pass, and I have to get a good enough grade to get through it so that I can move on to the other things that I need to be doing. But if it's a class that is something that's in your major, that's in your interest, or that's something that you want to pursue as a hobby in the future, then you might say, okay, I have certain learning outcomes that I want to achieve during this class. And so you'll do that for all of your classes and just list them here in this chart and say, again, what grade you want to get, what you want to get out of the course, and then make just a brief plan of what you're going to do in order to achieve that. And then the end of semester grade slot, this is here so that you can go back at the end of semester and report on how did you do on that goal. The desired grade is the grade you hope to get, and the end of semester grade would be if you, the intent is that you could print off your workbook, and then at the end of the semester you can report back and say, okay, how did I do on achieving my goal, to give you that accountability and that reflection. So you don't need to fill that in right now, because that's something that you would look back on in the future if you choose to. Okay, so that's the share and discuss, and then after you have filled in the chart with all of your desired learning outcomes and your desired grade, remember to share that with somebody. It could be a friend, a roommate, family member, anybody, and just get their advice on it and say, do you think this is reasonable? Do you think I need to raise my desired grade, lower my desired grade? Do you think I need to focus more on this class than this class? So just kind of get their advice on that. And make sure to briefly note down the first name of the person you talked to and the advice that they gave you on that. Okay, so that's most of our assignments. The last assignment for this week is just you'll report on your academic skill plan for test taking, just how your goal went. So that's just going to be a standard report, just like you've done each other time that you've reported on it. Just how did it go, what went well, what didn't go well, how can you improve on your goal, or what are your next steps. So just the basic report on that. And that's basically what we have for this week. Please let me know if you have any questions. I'm always happy to help out. Happy to give any additional explanation if there's anything else that you're not clear on. Thanks so much. Have a good week.